I'm not sure what the Ascendant Order is doing here, but they seem determined to eliminate me and Emmerich. I've been able to avoid most of their forces, and the few I couldn't, well, they hardly posed any trouble. How did you know where to find me? I hoped Valencia would sense our trouble. When the Ascendant Champion and her forces arrived by ship, they brought a powerful mage with them. Most of the island's defenses were rendered useless by his magic. But what was it about the medallions? A dispelling powder. Very clever. Sorry to hear about poor Derek, but I assume you took care of the other medallions? Good. Last I checked, Emmerich was safe in his private quarters. The wards there are still in place, but they won't hold forever. With a plan, my dear. Head up to the courtyard and confront the Ascendant Champion. In the meantime, Jakan and I will make our way around the back and surprise her mage from behind. Excellent. And I'll sprinkle this powder on the medallion along the way. Remember, we must stop the Ascendant Champion. If High King Emmerich dies, any chance to proceed with the peace talks will be lost. We can't allow that to happen.
We're almost through the wards, champion.
Take this, you coward! Look out!
I will take care of this. You dare challenge me? Fine. Step forward and die!
Good work, my dear. How exciting. Well, nothing warms the blood like a bit of a scuffle, wouldn't you say? That mage underestimated me, the poor dear. It's over now, at least. All that's left is to deal with this medallion and get it to High King Emmerich. I've been a little busy, dear. Now go outside, get on your boat, and return to camp. I'll meet you there. I need to dispel the medallion. Then, well, situations like this tend to stress out the High King. I can help him with that. I have before.
Lady Arabelle, are you sure you're not injured? Everything happened so fast at the keep.
Enough, Jakan. I've been dealing with worse villains since before you were born.
you're back. Oh, I'm so glad you're all safe. I knew I could count on you and Jakan to track down Lady Arabelle. I'm sure Jakan will regale me with the fascinating tale of your adventure on Sword's Rest Isle, whether I ask him to or not.
Things took a few unexpected turns, but we delivered the medallions and the peace talks can proceed as planned. I wonder who the Alliance leaders will send as their delegates. I haven't seen Rigard the Brash in quite some time. Oh, not for a while yet. We're still preparing the secure site on High Isle. But if the Ascendant Order strikes again, I know who to contact. You really are quite remarkable, my dear. And this is for you. Compliments of the Society of the Steadfast. Oh, such an interesting adventure, don't you think? I must write down the pertinent details. Wouldn't want to forget a moment. And don't fret. I'll make sure to send for you when the situation on High Isle escalates. You're too good not to call on again. Never heard of High Isle? I'm not surprised. It's sort of a getaway spot for nobles and royalty. It's the largest island in the Sisters Archipelago in the Ebonheart Sea. Technically, it's a Breton territory, but most treat it as neutral ground. Yes, my dear. It's really quite beautiful. I have a manor there for those brief periods when I'm not working on one thing or another. The Society of the Steadfast selected it specifically for the peace talks. I can't wait for them to get underway. Oh, not that again. You don't realize how tedious that question has become, and all because of a nosy chronicler and her unfounded accusations. Listen, my dear, you and I will get along much better if you never ask me about Investigator Vale again.
dockhands are watching for your cargo, Lady Arabelle. They know it's precious.
There was a storm off the coast. Perhaps it delayed the ships.
Forgive me if I do the job you hired me for, Lord Bacaro. Ah, a familiar face. I could use your help, adventurer. So good to see you again, my dear. Remember that little predicament we dealt with not too long ago? Well, now I have a related but larger problem, so let me tell you about my proposition. It pays exceedingly well, I assure you. Care to hear more? Oh, nothing tawdry, my dear. We'll be too busy for romantic shenanigans before long, I expect. Some precious cargo was supposed to sail in on the morning tide, but it never arrived. I need someone not known around the island to be my eyes and ears. While tales of my exploits credit me with all sorts of talents, I can't be in more than one place at a time. I could use a fresh face to mingle with the locals, determine if anyone knows anything about my 3 missing ships and their cargo. Lord Bacaro's conference can't proceed without that cargo. Here's what I need you to do. Check the inn, the lighthouse, and the Lockabane shallows. See if anyone knows or saw anything. Then meet me outside the North Gate to compare notes. Me? Oh, I'm no one special, my dear. I've been an adventurer, a Lion Guard officer, a spy, a diplomat. People claim the Investigator Vale stories are about me, or that I wrote them. Ridiculous. I'm retired now, but I still dabble from time to time. Oh, pish-posh. Do these look like the ink-stained fingers of a writer of overly imaginative and lurid tales to you? I'm rather fond of the bawdy investigator and her adventures, though. They remind me of my younger days. I'm overseeing security for the conference. A few months ago, Lord Bacaro approached me, explained his grand plans, and lured me out of retirement, you might say. My charming personality. When I was an agent for High King Emmerich, I traveled widely and met many dignitaries, including Lord Bacaro. He asked me to make sure everything went smoothly for his conference. So far, it's been anything but. The gentleman beside me, Lord Bacaro Valoris, leads the Society of the Steadfast. They're a philanthropic fellowship that provides aid to people who have suffered in the Three Banners War. The Society is sponsoring a conference here on the island. Well, yes, but we're trying to keep the details under wraps. Only a handful of people know the true purpose of the conference. You were brought in on the secret during our last run-in with the Ascendant Order, but please keep it to yourself. That's not an option I care to contemplate, not while there's still a chance to find them. Forgive me for being evasive, but it's a rather sensitive topic to discuss in public. We've already faced adversity, and the conference has yet to begin. Certainly. Since you're new to High Isle, I understand you may not be as familiar with the local area as I am. What do you wish to know? The ancient Anchor Inn sits just up the street near the city gate. It's one of the more popular places on the island. In my experience, inns are an excellent location to pick up rumors. Gonfalon Head Lighthouse, blessed by Kinnereth herself, stands atop the hill just west of town. It offers an excellent vantage from which to watch the nearby waters. Perhaps the lighthouse keeper saw something that will help. Possibly. When ships fail to make port, it's only natural to wonder if they were damaged or blown off course by a storm. The lighthouse keeper has a perfect view of the approach to Gonfalon Bay. If my ships were out there, she might have seen them. The currents of Lockabane are strong. Flotsam from the open sea often washes up along the shores of the waterway. Some of High Isle's poorer folk comb the beach looking for salvage. Let's hope they haven't found any today. Wherever you think is best, my dear, but do get started soon. My intuition tells me that some sort of mischief is afoot, and my intuition is rarely wrong.
I've learned to trust Lady Arabelle's instincts, even if others sometimes believe that she overreacts. As long as we're waiting, I plan to head inland and talk to a druid I've heard about. Maybe she'll be willing to discuss arcane practices with me.
Ah, a visitor. Or another one of Lady Arabelle's associates. Either way, welcome to our island. Bacaro Valorous, founder of the Society of the Steadfast, at your service. I hope you find your visit to High Isle restful and profitable. Yes, a sudden squall of unusual intensity. It died out just as quickly as it arose. I noticed it off to the northeast. Dark clouds filled that part of the horizon. Perhaps our ships were delayed by the shifting winds, or decided to wait out the storm. High Isle is the primary island in the Sisters Archipelago. Technically, we're a Breton holding, but we try to behave as a neutral port. People from all over Tamriel come to experience the natural beauty of the island. Well, nobles mostly. Parts of it. But we have a rich history, and the same sorts of dangers you'd experience on the mainland. Bandits, pirates, wild beasts. And you might want to avoid our sister island, Amanos. It's a harsh jungle that has long served as a prison. Mostly political prisoners from the Empire at first. Later, rival nobles, pirates, murderers. The worst of the worst. Today it also includes war criminals and certain prisoners of war. Amanos Station is friendly enough, but the jungle is deadly. I'm afraid that's privileged information. Suffice it to say, the cargo coming in on those ships is vital to the conference the Society of the Steadfast is sponsoring. Of course I do, but I learned long ago to have patience when it comes to such matters. Not every setback is a conspiracy, and not every delay is the act of a Daedric cult. Though, if you do learn anything of imminent concern, please let us know. I'm a philanthropist. I started the Society of the Steadfast to give relief to those caught up in the suffering caused by the Three Banners War. We establish healing tents for the wounded, distribute food and water, and provide whatever aid we can. As Lady Arabelle said, that's not something we're ready to talk about. Not until the cargo from the missing ships is secured. After that, I'll answer any questions you have. I'll even proclaim the purpose of the conference from the town square.
I'm a dockmaster, not a bloody mage. What does the lady expect me to do if her ships never made it to the docks in the first place? Should I be? Lady Arabelle suspects some sort of foul play, but not on my docks. Not a chance. Gonfalon Bay is safe. Everyone knows that. Trouble comes from the mainland, not from here. Of course, the waters to the northeast can be treacherous. The closer you get to Amanos, the more unpredictable the currents become. And storms constantly barrage the coast, not to mention sea elf pirates. A good captain knows these things. None of that would keep Lady Arabelle's ships from reaching port. Like I said, storms close to Amanos aren't that unusual. I doubt the ships we're waiting for would have sailed that far north. Just in case, I sent people to look for signs of wreckage in the shallows. I really don't expect them to find any, though.
I hear these knights are robbing people and looting caravans. Someone ought to do something. Hail, friend. Have you heard about the band of robber knights that waylaid travelers on the road to Gonfalon Bay? I came to High Isle to trade, but getting goods from the interior has become a roll of the dice. A rogue band that calls itself the Ascendant Order. I thought they were only active on the mainland, but they're here on High Isle. Rabble-rousers and troublemakers, if you ask me. And now, I hear they're looting caravans outside the city walls. Not specifically, but I saw some fancy-pants nobles giving the dockmaster grief. Missing ships could mean anything. Storms, pirates, poor winds, worthless navigators. Try Sergeant Dane over there. He's with the Sisters Guard and knows a lot.
The heroes heeded his call. Breton, Redguard, Elf, and more. Their fleet headed into a squall. They sailed the stormy sea as one to cry.
I'm off duty, newcomer. Got a complaint? Take it to one of the other guards. We police High Isle. Ships that haven't arrived yet aren't our problem. Besides, we've got our hands full with these so-called Ascendant Order Knights. They're stirring up trouble all across the island. Just that they're little more than well-armed bandits. They've been recruiting the poor to bolster their numbers. Now they're robbing caravans while claiming they fight for justice. Honest folk don't hide their faces behind helmets and masks. They're malcontents. They go on about how the high and mighty misuse their power by squabbling over the Ruby Throne. It started out small enough, defying authority, inciting riots, petty sabotage. But now they're hurting people. Something else, newcomer? I'd like to get back to my drink. Ordinary bandits, the Sisters Guard can handle. But when we send enough guards to meet a company of Ascendant Order Ravagers, these faceless knights just melt away. And if we don't send enough guards, then our guards don't come back. Might as well be. Most knights proudly display their emblems. They wear the colors of their house and paint family crests on their shields. These Ascendant Order knights never remove their helms and bear no devices. They could be anybody.
A traveler. I thought those vile knights had returned. Forgive me, I must continue praying for the return of our idol. Without it, this tower's light will remain dark. This lighthouse is special. It's blessed by Kinnereth, the god of winds and sea. No fire serves as a beacon for nearby ships, but the divine light of Kinnereth herself. But without the sacred idol, the light cannot shine. Alas, the idol was stolen. Knights in unmarked livery broke in and stole the Kinnereth idol. I watched the scoundrels flee to the west with the sacred edifice. Perhaps, dare I ask, would you be willing to recover the idol for the lighthouse so I may restore the beacon? They may wear the garb of knights, but the ruffians who assaulted me carry themselves like robbers and outlaws. Whoever they are, they're dangerous. Be wary of them, and may the wind guide you. Bless you, traveler. Please understand, to my order, this is more than just a lighthouse. This beacon spreads Kinnereth's blessing across both land and sea, but only with the idol in place, so it must be returned. It is marvelous, is it not? This is actually the second beacon to stand atop Gonfalon Head. It dates back to the early 1st century. When I assumed my duties here, the tower was in poor repair. Dangerous, even. When Duchess Alea Dufort assumed her father's duties a few years ago, she ordered a complete renovation of the structure. I'm sure she wanted to protect trade in Gonfalon Bay, but she spared no expense in rebuilding the lighthouse.